We're out at the ADA Adventure 4x4 Center because when you get a Dinkum 4x4, you really have to take it out to do some 4x4ing in it. And this is, of course, the new Land Rover Defender. Lots been said about it, lots of controversy about the new model as compared to the old one. Lots of people seem to think that, well, maybe it's not as tough, not as basic as the old one was, but it's certainly got a lot of design cues that look exactly like the old Defender. And you can see that very, very clearly from the front end, the bold, tough looking front, all the cues you've got, the two-tone color, the silver and black bonnet, and of course the raised ride height we've got because we've got it for off-roading at the moment. And you can see exactly what that can do over there too. We've actually already been doing a bit of 4x4ing, so you can see there's lots of mud, of course, on the wheels and on the lower body already right now, and nice big 20-inch mag wheels over there that do stand out clearly. And you can see the clearance you've got, of course, from the wheel arches to allow for axle articulation, etc., and things like that. You've got that air scoop over there. Defender trait, you can see it looks just like a Defender of old in so that way. The big bold square slabby sides over there, and you've got extra design cues over there. You've also got those opera windows, as they call them, up top over there for people to look out when game driving or something like that. The dark privacy glass as well that you can see. Coming round to the rear end, and have a look over here. Big spare wheel mounted on the outside of the back door, and the very interesting square tail lights, indicator lights, etc. A bit of a Defender trademark as well. Tough, the tow hitches at the back over there. The rear door opens sideways and opens nice and big and wide, and opens up to show you in 5-seater format a very large boot area with nice plastic cladding over there just for loading stuff and for keeping loads in the back easily and safely, with your toolkit placed underneath, of course. There are 2 extra seats that can pull up in the back area as well if you need them to make it a full 7-seater. So you can do that too. And you've got that facility which we haven't used, and there you can see those opera windows from the inside, and you can see exactly what they look like, and just the extra light and visibility that they do give to passengers in the rear, that I think is pretty important. Well, the model we have on test right now is the D300. In other words, it's powered by the Land Rover's V6 3-litre diesel engine, putting out 221 kilowatts and 650 newton meters of torque. That's plenty, isn't it? For on-road or off-road, doesn't matter which. And of course, it feeds the power to, depending on what setting, but either rear wheels or all-four wheels, through a very, very smooth 8-speed automatic transmission that works very well as well, and very smooth on the road, that's for sure. You've obviously got all the different terrain settings, all the different 4x4 settings, etc. as well that you can get from inside. Okay, here I go. Okay, then of course, it's when you're driving a car like this that it makes all the difference. We're just coming down the driveway, leaving ADA right now, and you can see bumps, obviously, you're going to feel, but I mean, you feel them to a very limited extent. But then you'll notice when we get on the road, and I'm going to drop the vehicle height, the ride height right now, because we are very high up. So normal height selected, and there the vehicle just drops down to normal driving height. And let's get onto the road. And obviously there's going to be a bit of extra noise. Please understand, we've got to get rid of the mud off the tires right now. So that will take a few moments, and most of it's gone already. You can hear it. But let me tell you, this car is smooth, it's comfortable, it's easy to drive on road, that's for sure. It really is a comfortable, massive family cruiser when you're on the road, and that off-road machine when you want to go off-road. That's the point. It really is a car of two places, two natures, two characters. Call it what you want. Jekyll and Hyde, maybe. Except there's no evil side. It's just got two good sides. So Jekyll and Jekyll. How's that? But overall, I can tell you that it's smooth, it's comfortable. I'm cruising along on a not very good road, and I'm doing 90 kilometers an hour, and it just is wafting along. It's that 8-speed automatic transmission that, of course, 4x2 or 4x4 modes, depending on what you want to be in, and that just carries on and wafts along when you're on an open road. Smooth, comfortable. You've got all the modes, you've got everything you want on a vehicle like this, and quite honestly, for the price, I would expect it. But then again, for the price, it's a bit of a bargain too, I think, because it just gives you so much. Just overall, it's a really, really good experience. I've got to compare it to the old Defender, and I drove one of the later versions of the old Defender, which was a manual. It was heavy, it was clunky, it was tough as nails, because lots of people have questioned with all the electronics on this vehicle when you want to go through Africa or whatever, and I'm not going to attempt to answer that. But that was a chore to drive. That was hard work to drive. This is absolutely a dream to drive. That's all I can say. From behind the wheel, as always, you can see we haven't finished this test yet. We've done 200 kilometers, showing 11.7, but that does allow for a little bit of off-roading we've been doing and things like that. So it's not quite a true reflection as yet. Another thing, but I don't think you'll see it on here right now, but there is a lovely heads-up display in front of me, which includes even 4x4 information, which is really amazing, and I found that fantastic to have as well. But you can obviously scroll through, you can change screens. I'm not going to go through all of it. You know what it's about, and I don't think I need to show you all over again. But you've got, of course, cruise control, active cruise control over here. You've got lane keep assist. You've got all those features over there. And of course, these are your phone and your sound system instructions, all typical and what you expect. You've got this very interesting effect of the riveted panel over here on the door, for example. It's things like that that make it look just like a Land Rover, of course. And then you come across over here, and you come to the nice big center screen. And let me just go to the home screen over here. And let me just tell you something. This home screen, quite honestly, I think you need about a month of instruction before you will know everything that's on it, because you go through and you'll see it goes on and on and on. It's absolutely incredible. It really has everything. I mean, for example, I'm just going to show you the cameras over here as soon as it takes the instruction. And there, for example, you can change, you can reset, you can do all the different cameras. And if I go to off-road, you'll see, look here now. For example, it's showing in front of me. It's also showing the right-hand wheel over there, and it's also showing you your axles, for example, and you get the same instructions on your heads-up display as well. So you really have every possible feature and function you can ever want on this. You can just imagine, but I'm saying you probably need some very long-term instruction to get it all right and get it all working the way you would want it to be working, and that you know you're getting it all going. But anyway, you come down just now to the next section. You've got your dual zone climate control, but there's doubling up of some of these controls, and it does take again a while to work out. And just for example, if I press that button there, that gives you your different modes. You saw that, you've got to just press it again, but show you, and it shows you all the modes you can set: programs, comfort, off-road, sand, blah blah blah, you know them all, but it just shows you. Over here you can go up and down, you can raise or lower the ride height of the vehicle depending on what function you're in. That's low range over there, because the 8-speed automatic gearbox offers you low range as well. You can turn off traction control, hill descent control. Obviously you've got every possible function you could ever want on this vehicle. Just below, and this is really useful, is you've got 2 USBs over here, you've got a 12-volt socket over there, you've got so many USBs and functions like that. You've got 2 big cup holders over here, you've got a very deep section over here for storage, and it actually works very well when you plug in your phone. And I was running on Android Auto, and your phone sits over there and doesn't fly around like it does in so many other vehicles. You go across to this section over here in front of the passenger, and note you've got places for passengers to hold on, grab handles. You've got very significant spots for them to hold on to, etc., which are useful. And there's even another USB over here in front of the passenger, just in case you need another one. And then there's a bunch of USBs in the back for rear seat passengers, just in case they need USBs. A big, deep console over here, cubby over here for you to store, a big storage area over there. And then we won't see it now, but as I said, you've got aircon controls for the rear seat. You've also got lots of USB ports, as I mentioned. And look at the tons and tons of legroom that middle row has for passengers. For if you're in 5-seater mode, you go into 7-seater mode, obviously it does compromise it a little bit, but not that much, I don't think. I don't think that's a problem at all. But this really, really, on this new Defender, they've made it an absolute luxury vehicle that is capable of going off-road and tackling the off-road stuff as well. So it really can do whichever you want, and it can fill both needs anytime you want. And that's the difference. Approximately 1.8 million rand for this version as we're in right now. It's a lot of money, but it's a lot of car. So you'd always have to have a look and decide. But overall, I love vehicles like this. I love the opportunity to go off-road for a few minutes and do things like that. It just all makes your day, makes my week. Competitors, look at Land Cruisers, look at some of the vehicles in that sort. You know what they are, but they all come, the top Jeep models as well, obviously. There are some, but a Land Rover is a Land Rover, and I certainly enjoy it. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor. See you next time.